Whoa, we're live. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rebootleggers. This is a comedy podcast where we make reboots that you didn't ask for. I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sarah.
Joining this was joining. It's not funny. It's hard to talk, Frank. Joining us this week is a very special guest, Hannah Chase.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Hannah.
Thank you so much.
We're so excited to have you here. We're excited to have a not dude guest.
A really big guest.
Well, I hope to be able to really bring the female perspective to this.
I hope
reboot.
so. I hope so as well, because
This is going to be a really big episode, Scott.
It took me the second time to realize what you were doing. Why is it going to be a big episode, Frank?
That's because we're going to be rebooting the Tom Hanks classic Big.
Oh,
Scott.
it's a literally big episode. No, wait, it's not literally
it's gonna
big.
Well, it's going to be the big episode. Because we don't
episode.
ever repeat movies.
That's true. We don't until we do, and then you made us
Until we run
liars.
out.
But so Hannah, you sent us this in a long list of movies that you know intimately well.
Yeah.
So, for those of our listeners who haven't seen this movie, definitely not for me, someone who's definitely seen this movie for sure. Can you just give us a very quick rundown of Tom Hanks' Big?
Sure, I can do my best. So, movie starts with a 12-year-old kid, Josh, who is, I guess, hasn't really hit puberty yet. He's still a pretty small 12-year-old kid, I feel. And he wants to be big, and he wants to ride a ride at the carnival. And he is really frustrated, and he puts a coin into this machine called Zoltar, which is this old fortune telly, carnival fair machine thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he wishes to be big. And then, it says your wish is granted or something like that. And then he goes home and he goes to sleep. This is a kid. This isn't Tom Hanks yet. And he wakes up the next morning and suddenly he's Tom Hanks. And he's really big and he's a grown-up all of a sudden. And he has lots of grown-up adventures. He has sex with a lady,
Whoa.
which is really crazy if you think about it.
So
Because he's still a 12-year-old.
So this isn't time travel. It's the same. He just wakes up the next day and he's an adult man in his bedroom.
He's in his childhood bedroom, but he doesn't fit in his bed, and he's a full-grown adult, and he runs away.
Okay, and he gets to have sex as a 12-year-old. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a weird scene as a viewer.
Yeah, for sure.
He doesn't run into his parents. I don't remember.
No, I don't believe. Maybe he does run into his parents at the very beginning, and they're like, "Why are you here?" And he is because they don't know who he is, and he runs away. I feel maybe there's something like that, but I love that I said I know this movie intimately, and then I'm forgetting lots of details. But the main bulk of the movie is him not living at home. He gets a job, and he's living in a very fancy loft. And he still has a buddy. His 12-year-old buddy knows about it, and sort of coming of age.
In the 1980s, did people not do did they not do credit checks, or did you not need a social security number for jobs? Because wouldn't they have been able to check and say this shows that you're 12 years old?
Yeah, apparently not. It was extremely easy for him to get a very fancy job.
Man, I was born way too late.
I've got some backup from the Wikipedia article here.
Uh-huh.
He walks into an FAO Schwartz. That's the first sign of the error there.
Uh-huh.
He walks into an FAO Schwartz, and he walks out vice president of product development.
What?
Yeah, he really impresses the owner.
Oh, because he knows kids because he's a kid.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I think that's probably the most believable part of the movie. I'm pretty sure that's how business works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know, but I can only assume.
So here's a quick thing I noticed. The fact that between this and Forrest Gump, does that mean Tom Hanks has twice had to play someone confusingly have sex? Or is this a thing that Tom Hanks has done a lot, do you think? I'm just noticing a trend in his films between these two movies.
What you're asking is this on his call sheet?
Is this Tom Hanks's call sheet?
Confused about sex.
where they're
Now
like,
I'm trying to scan my brain for a third one.
if we could find a third Tom Hanks movie where maybe Sully. Do you think in Sully he's confused about sex?
Yeah, Sully's definitely a virgin.
For sure. Oh no.
Oh, maybe his kid.
So, okay, so he becomes a rich businessman. I assume at some point does he learn that he doesn't want to be big anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then how does he become unbig?
I think he finds the machine again.
Okay.
But I might be wrong about that.
Frank,
Yeah, he goes back to the machine.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
here's what's, I don't remember this part, but this is in the Wikipedia description of the plot. He unplugs the machine and then wishes to Zoltar to become a kid again, and then
Wait.
it works.
that doesn't.
He doesn't put in a quarter, according to Wikipedia.
He unplugs.
He unplugs the machine and then tells the turned off Zoltar, "Make me young again."
So he kills Zoltar and then makes a demand of him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I feel like maybe he unplugs Zoltar because Zoltar's not working, and then like when he unplugs Zoltar
Yeah.
awakens.
Oh, maybe Zoltar awakens. Maybe there's
Oh,
something
it's
where
the,
maybe Wikipedia is not quite detailed enough.
Yeah. But it's a creepy scene because then he's like with the woman that he boned, and she's like there. She sees him turn into a little kid again.
And does she just
and
like?
she kisses him goodbye, not on the lips.
Oh, she
but I
doesn't
feel
like
like she-
vomit on the spot and
Yeah.
interesting.
Just immediately.
No, they
go to
have
jail.
like a really like sentimental goodbye.
Ooh. Okay. And this whole how long does this over what period of time does this movie take place? Like how long is he missing from his home? Is there like a subplot of his parents calling the police and starting a manhunt for him?
Not at all.
Interesting. His parents sound like not good parents. They
I
see
don't think
Well,
so.
in the 80s, you tell your kids to go play,
But
and
no-
you don't really clock anything about them until dinner time.
Well, that's a fair point, except in this scenario, his parents saw a grown man come out of their child's bedroom and then didn't see
And
their
run away.
child for days. And they just didn't do anything. Man,
You know, there just weren't as many. You know, there wasn't as much stranger danger
we didn't have Amber Alerts.
because you just assume that the adult. You know, back in the 80s, an adult could say like your child said bad words, and then the parents would believe them.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, so
No one was defending the kids in the 80s.
so the parents, they're just like, whatever, that's probably his buddy.
He'll show up.
Yeah, he'll show up. Okay. All right, let's jump into our first segment called Love It or Leave It.
Love me or leave me or let me be lonely.
We need to figure out what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of. Hannah, what do you love about Big?
Well, I mean, I love Tom Hanks.
Of course. I think we can get him back for sure.
He's a real sport.
Mm-hmm. They've got a really great like secret handshake that they do over and over
Mm.
with like a cool he and his like little buddy. I like their handshake.
So does he take his little buddy on grown-up adventures? Does he open a lot of doors for his small buddy? Like, this is my son, let him into the casino with me type thing?
No, unfortunately not. And I
What
think
kind of
really
friend is
he
this
like
boy?
leaves. I know he leaves his little buddy behind a little
Wow.
bit, and it like causes friction in their relationship.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do we want to keep that friction? Do we want to get rid of that friction? Do we want to keep... Does he still get big in our reboot? We discussed maybe we make him small. Maybe this is an adult Tom Hanks who wishes he was a child even more so.
I like that.
Okay. Now, Frank, what do you love about Big?
I like the genie idea.
He's
the
a genie.
classics, you know, like magic Zoltar machine.
Uh-huh.
Not strictly married to that, but I like that this movie is a lesson in making accurate wishes when you find a genie.
Yeah, you gotta be specific.
Because everyone's read The Monkey's Paw. That genie's trying to get you.
It's interesting how, like, I feel like the genie was actually pretty nice to him, because all he said was, I want to be big. He could have
was
made
pretty
him, like,
nice.
38 feet tall, but still a child.
Yeah, or he could have made him 100 years old.
Well, but everyone knows 100-year-old men are very small.
Or he could have given him a gorilla heart.
He could have given him a gorilla heart. He didn't say which part he wanted to be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I do also like the disingenuous genie he's not there to help you. Which begs the question, why is he even doing this job?
What is he here for?
Has he been cursed into this machine and wishes to be released? I don't trust him. I want to keep him. So let's talk about, what do we want to get rid of? I think we all agree we want to get rid of the problematic preteen sex with a grown woman.
Yeah, I'll get rid of that.
Let's just get...
Yeah, it's going to be hard to write around.
It's hard to write around unless we want to make it a very, very different movie, which I think we still need to keep it light. Unless we do want to just really get into it feels like it's almost more of like a psychological drama. What have I done? This boy is a boy, but his man body calls to me. I don't know that they would phrase it that way. Like I said, I do not have a lot of insight into the female perspective.
So this becomes a movie in which Tom Hanks is a vehicle to punish Susan for some kind of thing that...
Is Zoltar punishing her? This sounds... So she has to now deal with this. It's I can't think of a single other one of those movies.
This is like
hidden
this is like an entirely psychological Saw movie.
Yeah. Well, because we don't find out, what happens to her. It's like she just goes on her merry way, but she has to live with the fact that she, did something way inappropriate.
Right. Should the big reboot be about her dealing with, like, years later? Oh God, what have I done? Like, she has lost her job. Maybe Small is about her. She wants to be small and go back to a time before she did this to the boy.
So we check back in on Susan. She's 58. She's walking around Cliffside, New Jersey, and she sees the now grown up properly Tom Hanks, and it all comes back to her.
And she's like 15 years older than him, right?
I think that sounds about right.
So she's like mid-30s, early 40s when she sees grown-up Tom Hanks. I like how we said we want to get rid of this part of the movie, and now it's all we're talking
it's
about.
all that we're talking about.
Okay. I like the genie. Can we figure out where the genie came from? Maybe we turn it into... Let's jump into segment 2, because I want to talk about genre. This is called When and Where. Where we talk about setting and genre. So we've already discussed, maybe psychological thriller. Is this a horror movie about a genie who ruins people's lives? Could it be? Should it be? Would we like to keep it a comedy?
Are we kicking off a franchise? Zoltar : entry one is Zoltar : Big.
Zoltar : Big. Now, Hannah, I know this movie is a treasured piece of your childhood. How much do you want to ruin that?
I fully want to ruin it.
Just destroy it. Okay.
Yeah, I think we can.
So for you, what is the most appealing way to destroy this Thomas Hanks Big?
Yeah, I think Zoltar, the Zoltar franchise, a horror series.
This could be, it's like Chucky meets Jigsaw meets Halloween. I guess we just have one of those reboots.
I gotta tell the truth though, I have not seen a horror movie in a long time.
What was the last horror movie you've seen, Frank? Wow, that long, huh?
One of the Screams.
Wow,
That's a long time ago.
Quite a while. Now, when we
we don't have to do horror.
I'm into it. I think it's best I think Frank's at his best when he knows
go in
nothing.
new directions.
Frank, we want to break Frank out of his comfort zone, which is 50% of this podcast. Okay, so we've got our genre is horror. What's our setting? Is this in present day? Is this a prequel to Big? Is it after Big? What sounds good? What's the worst thing we could do? Do we make it about what's his girlfriend's name? Do we know?
The adult one that is being destroyed is Susan.
Does he have a child girlfriend?
He's trying to impress Cynthia. Mm-hmm. He's trying to become a big boy to impress Cynthia and go on the roller coaster.
Oh.
But then Cynthia's just not in the movie ever again.
Ever again.
Okay, so what happened to Cynthia? That's a bummer. Josh. Okay. So then we probably have to keep the giant piano, just jumping back a segment, right? Like that's gotta stay in there. I think.
Yeah, the big like,
FAO
vinyl
Shorts
keyboard.
Yeah, he plays the songs on that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is does he play that with Susan?
No, he plays that with the CEO.
Oh, and then is that
They
how
get
he
off.
gets his
They
job?
play Heart and Soul together on the giant foot piano, and then he says like, "I'm gonna make you an executive."
How did they both get so good at foot piano?
It's just one of those things, you know.
You're born with it. Okay, we'll do Zoltar 1. I guess we'll call this. Is this an origin story of Zoltar, or is it just the continuing saga of Zoltar messing with someone's life? Is this post-Big or pre-Big? What sounds more fun? Hannah, what sounds more fun to you?
Well, I feel like we should probably do pre-Big.
Pre-Big.
But then we're sort of throwing out most big details.
That's true.
But then
So-
we get that super delicious at the end of this movie. It's
When
just it's welcome to Cliffside, New Jersey, and then there's the Zoltar machine. And it's like
Yes.
a lightning strike.
And maybe like the end of the movie is little Josh
Yeah.
approaching. You see like in the back, it's sort of blurry. And then it like comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
then
love
and then
this.
as the credits roll, it says, "Now go watch Big, but think about this movie while you're watching Big."
Yeah.
We just put that on the screen. Should we do a voiceover for that, Frank, or will that just be text?
I want to commit to just text to like
Okay.
really-
I didn't know if maybe we wanted to get like a Vincent Price sound-alike type guy in there.
Oh.
Okay.
Would you want to give us a taste of that?
Oh no, I don't. I don't think I could. I don't. What is he? I can't. I honestly can't. Hang on. I gotta go listen to all of Thriller really quick so that I can remember what he sounds like. No, it's probably just like, now go watch Big. It's not. It's not. That's just nothing. Okay. Let's get to the point that we're all most excited about, which is casting. With our third segment, Who Can It Be?
Can it be now?
Who's in this movie? Do we still get Thomas Hanks? Probably. Oh wait, he'd have to be like a cameo
But
because this isn't
he
about
is a
him.
cameo.
This has to be how Zoltar got trapped in the box, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this
Is
is
he-
pre Tom Hanks, but I feel like actor Tom Hanks can make like a
can be,
small
yeah.
cameo.
Yeah, he's gonna want to be in it. Like I feel like if he gets wind of this, he's gonna call us and ask like to. So we got to make something for him, just in anticipation of him asking to be in this new project with us.
What if human Zoltar is Tom Hanks all labyrinthed up
With like a turban and a beard. Wait, Labyrinth. Oh, like Bowie.
like Bowie? Yeah,
Okay.
like all labyrinthed up.
So first off, yeah, okay. So you want Tom Hanks to play Zoltar?
What if Zoltar can grant wishes, but only they have to look like him?
Oh my god. So child Josh, when he grows up, he wasn't actually going
He
to look
doesn't-
anything like Tom Hanks until
No,
he made
not at
the
all.
wish.
I think that's great.
That is very good. Okay, so we'll get Tom Hanks to play Zoltar. We can basically
And that's why it was such a benign kind of wish granting. He does want to do the bad things to people, but he can only do it by putting his real human adult body into the situation somewhere.
into the situation somewhere, just somehow getting his human body in there. Maybe he has been cursed to lose his body. Maybe he's trying to keep his body alive, and so he just keeps pushing other people's souls into his body.
Oh, like make sure you eat enough ravioli.
Hey, while you're
in
in
my
there,
body.
while you're in there,
Is he like cursed and suffering in this role, or is he like a bad guy?
I think he's a bad guy.
He's bad. Okay.
But I guess the question is, how did he become? Wait, hang on. I just realized something. Frank, do you want Tom Hanks to play a Zoltar who used to be human, or do you want us to put Tom Hanks inside of a box and pretend to be a robot man?
No, the first one.
Okay.
The human version before he got trapped in the box
Okay.
is Tom Hanks.
I just wanted to clarify because I realized it could have been two things, and getting Tom Hanks to play a weird animatronic man inside of a box could have been. Maybe that's what we'll do at the end when he gets put inside of the box, instead of like, we won't waste any money on robot
Like
parts.
he goes like, and then he like bangs on the glass, and then we just kind of smash cut to the robot
No, I think the robot is still Tom Hanks being very rigid.
the whole time.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, as we've seen with Polar Express is very good at the uncanny valley. Just like looking unnerving and weird as a not quite
Just
human.
remaining completely motionless and unblinking for minutes on end.
Yeah, but smiling
Yeah.
without his eyes.
Mhm.
Okay, so who else is this is an we don't normally this makes casting interesting because we don't know who else is in this movie yet because it's a
Yeah.
prequel. So, should we maybe plot it out and then come back to casting so we can get some characters here?
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's talk about Zoltar.
Okay, let's talk about we're going to jump
Actually, let's talk about everyone else but Zoltar.
we're going to jump to our we're going to jump to our final segment really fast and then we'll probably jump back to this segment. It'll be an interesting order of things. But this segment is called What's Going On. And we're going to figure out the plot of this so that we can come up with some characters. Now, Hannah, as someone who does improvisational comedy, how often do you have to come up with characters for movies on the spot?
Oh, very infrequently.
Okay. Well, I need you to give me one right now.
Great. So beyond Zoltar, who we already have established exists as a character,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that he has like an ex
Mm.
lover who he's been like who's been pining after, and ultimately she or he is the motivating factor for something in this movie. Is
Okay.
that not specific enough?
I like it. I need a name.
Oh, Janine.
Janine. Now, is Frank, when was Human Zoltar alive? Is this like 1960s?
My next question was going to be, is this, the 70s, or is this like the year
1844. Oh, the year 400. Well, I don't think they
Like-
could put him in a robot box if it's the year 400.
Oh. So it needs to be, one second.
I think we need to put it around like
When-
the Prestige time when
Yeah.
I think
What
this
is that? Like late 19th century, early 20th century?
Yeah, I think like late 1800s, early 1900s we put Zoltar in.
Great. So her name's not Janine anymore. Her name
Okay.
is Emily.
Emily, that is the most 18th, 19th century name ever.
I'm glad you agree.
Yes, and everyone wears big dresses and suit coats everywhere.
Yes.
Are they still riding horses, or are the horseless carriages coming in?
I think they've got horseless carriages.
Awesome. Okay, and they make those weird little like comedy horn noises instead of like
Yeah.
actual horns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so beginning of is Zoltar with Emily, or did she already break up with him? Do we see the breakup? Also, were they married or just courting, as they say from in the old times?
Or does she not break up with him? Does she die?
Okay.
I know I'm
That's
throwing a
why
wrench.
he becomes a wizard.
That's why he
Yes.
becomes a wizard. Maybe he started out as like a regular stage magician,
Yes.
and then he decides to find real dark powers to resurrect his dead lover.
I like this.
I like this a lot. This
Because
is
then
great.
he's at the library, right? And he tries to find a book on magic.
But instead he finds a book
But-
on robots.
Well, but he finds a book on magic with a K, and it's real magic.
Oh, buddy, you
Mm.
gotta know the difference between K. What's CK? What's the difference between K, CK, and C?
I meant CK when like
Of
magic.
Magic. Okay, yeah, that checks out. So we've identified Emily. Who's playing Emily? We'll just do this as we come up with people. Who's somebody who can? Does Emily die at the beginning of the movie? We got to see her alive, right? And then she dies.
Yes, and maybe we see her like in flashbacks throughout.
Yeah, flashbacks throughout. Maybe as a ghost at some point.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
totally.
So who's hot right now that we want to get in this big movie that's going to be very popular? Who's going to get people to buy the tickets to this movie? Frank, who do you want to be Emily?
Who can really sell
Dead.
post-Victorian dead lover?
This
Mm-hmm.
is the question. Who have we seen do this before? Female.
Basically, if they were in the movie version of a Jane Austen novel,
Okay, so you're talking
they'll be able to knock.
Keira Knightley or any of the other I can't even remember the family's
There
last
were
name.
There were so many.
There's a Susan, I think. Oh gosh.
Which movie are we talking?
I think we're talking
Pride
Pride
and
and
Prejudice?
Prejudice. Yeah. Or we could do the PBS Pride and Prejudice that I've seen like 1,000 times, probably. The Bennets. That's the name.
Elizabeth, yes.
Yes. Or we could get anybody from the what was the one with oh god, now I can't remember his name. Who's Professor Snape? Alan Rickman.
Oh,
Sense and Sensibility was the one
R.I.P.
he was in, which is basically just Pride and Prejudice with one fewer sister, I think.
essentially.
Essentially. So I don't know who's been in any of these movies besides Keira Knightley, and I feel like Keira Knightley might not want to do this. Maybe she would. I don't know. She's just gonna be dead the whole time. Do you think she'd sign up for that?
Yeah, I think she'd do it. I mean,
Okay.
I feel like she'd be into it. And it's a cool, I like that we're casting someone, she's not like quite as young anymore.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're like giving the role to I mean, she's not older.
She's
She's
not
probably
older.
like in her mid 30s. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Me neither. But she knows she can play Victorian and British.
They've got to sell the gravitas.
The
Yeah.
gravitas. Yes. Okay. Movie starts. Is he like a struggling yet happy stage magician? He's like happy with his life, and then maybe he makes some decisions. How does Emily die? This is what I need to know. What happened? Does she die because of something he did? Does he like borrow money from a mobster? Does he just like do a trick that's too dangerous and she shrinks so fast that she dies?
Oh, does he accidentally do real magic?
Does he accidentally do real magic on her? Does he? I don't have a third thing, which is a cardinal sin in this business of comedy. But how does Elizabeth die? What do you guys think? What sounds fitting for the wife of a magician? That's not in the Prestige, because I think the wife of
I know.
him just kills herself.
She kills
Which I don't-
herself in that movie?
I think so, because the one who dies does. Does Scarlett Johansson die in that movie too?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but
yeah.
I cannot remember the name of the other actress who is great, but she kills herself because she's married to Christian Bale, who is actually two brothers, and she doesn't know he's two brothers, and so sometimes he's nice to her, sometimes he's terrible.
Right. She
and so
does
she
kill
kills
herself.
herself.
Is it just a good old fashioned haberdashery accident?
Frank, what's a haberdashery accident?
That's a men's clothing store, so there's a large hat rack falls on her.
Maybe he just came into some okay.
He wants to buy a top hat.
Yeah, for his new act.
His new act, because he has he's a wealthy benefactor, has discovered him, and so this is his big like, oh man, this is it for us. We're gonna make it big. He says big a lot.
Oh, he says big all the time.
He says big all the time.
This is gonna be so
Maybe that's
big.
is that his oh, I guess he's Zoltar. Never mind. I was going to be like, is that his stage name? Does it have big in it in some way? But
I
no.
think
the big Zoltar.
I think all the best reboots have a nonsensical. All the best prequels have a unnecessary, contrived, shoehorned connection like
They
that.
just jam it down
So
your throat.
I do think Hannah Big is in his stage name, and maybe his name is just Big
Big
Zoltar.
Zoltar.
The Big Zoltar or Big Zoltar.
I like just big Zoltar.
Other magicians were amazing or unbelievable, and he was just big.
I love it.
And they're like, well, why is he big? Well, he is very tall. Have you seen Tom Hanks? Okay, so she dies from a top hat, Frank?
He needs to buy an extremely big hat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's too
It falls.
heavy?
It falls on.
Does it like
It
land
falls
on
on
her
her.
head and it covers her entire head and they can't get it off and she suffocates? What happens here? This is a horror movie which should involve weird.
Oh, so are we Final Destinationing this moment? Or?
Are they almost? Is it like slapstick levels of death, like Final Destination, where it is just the most absurd, most fragile humans dying in the most ridiculous, like Rube Goldberg ways?
So the top hat falls off the coat rack, and it goes completely down to her shoulders. Her entire just head is covered, and then the hat rack falls and just gives her a good conk.
And then she can't see where she's going, so she stumbles and falls out the window in the way of a horse, which
And that horse goes over.
and that
tramples on her.
okay, yeah.
body.
I was gonna say the horse bucks off the child he was riding, who was riding him, not who he was riding. This would be a weird horse.
And the child is holding a large baseball bat.
And then the baseball bat flies into the spokes of a bicycle. You know those 18.
Oh my gosh! And this.
Yes.
Those big wheel bicycles from the old times.
Like a unicycle.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, because they're at like.
And he's juggling chainsaws.
And then what happens to the chainsaws?
There's 3 of them, right? And the first 2 miss, and then he's watching out the window, and he goes, whew, and then the third one just gets her.
Okay, so the third one does get her. She does die from a terrible haberdashery chainsaw accident.
And then somebody goes, "This is such a big accident."
I think with that exact delivery too, there's no emotion to
It's
it.
such a big accident.
Oh god, that was
yeah.
such a big
Such a
accident.
big accident.
Okay, Zoltar, his wife is dead. He's lost his muse. His show. Maybe he goes and tries to perform for his new boss. Patron.
And
And just the fire's not there. His wife's dead.
Yeah.
He's got no muse. So then he does a bad
he
job.
needs to make his act bigger.
Yeah. So I think first he says
that looking in the mirror.
He has to lose everything first, though. He loses all of his money. Like he just can't perform anymore.
I think he becomes an alcoholic
Yes,
too.
for
right?
sure.
Yes.
And he
I
gets
mean, I feel like he.
great big bushy beard.
Yeah.
A big beard, if you will. So we've got big beard Tom Hanks just drinking straight out of the bottle, and the bottle is probably in a brown paper bag because that's how you know it's serious.
Yeah.
And then, so Frank, is this when he goes and finds the accidental magic with the K book, or is he approached by Satan?
we need one kind of final all is lost moment where he like tries to use his normal stage magic to like steal food or something like that, and it
Oh,
just
God.
bombs. You know what I mean?
What if he tries
He
to?
like
Yeah.
tries to palm something and just whiffs it because he's blasted.
What if he tries to get on a roller coaster and they won't let him because he is blasted?
Yes.
I think we need a roller of being denied a
Yeah.
roller coaster in
the
this
world's.
movie.
I'm gonna search the very first roller coaster.
Yeah,
I
when
feel like
was
it's
the
earlier
first-
than we think.
When was the first roller coaster, Frank?
History.
You.
The first roller coaster was 1817.
Oh,
We're
this
golden.
is perfect.
Oh my God.
Maybe he's
Okay.
okay. So wait, Frank. This says 1885. It's fine. He's late.
The
1800s.
first modern coaster, the Promenade Ariane, opened in Parc Béjean in Paris, July 1817. Scott, I have a source.
Okay, perfect. So roller coasters have just made it to America, and he wants to ride it. And he is told no. And so then he...
Does he make it? Does he say what? Because I'm too short, and then they just tell him, "No, sir, you're drunk."
They say, no, that's not a thing. Safety hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah.
You're just too drunk. And so
We still have children mining. We're not worried about that.
does he try to use stage magic to get on the roller coaster, and he gets caught and thrown in jail, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does he-
Yeah. Definitely.
Maybe he throws a smoke bomb.
But he can't be in jail for too long because then he needs to eventually find his way to this old library.
Yeah, he goes to the old...
Or
li-
like antique shop.
Who-
I don't know what it is.
Maybe...
He's in the drunk tank in a strange town, and he's wandering the streets when he gets out in the morning.
Maybe, yeah, he's wandering the streets
Yeah.
and he's like, I need to get bigger. My act, it needs to
I
be
need
bigger.
to be bigger.
I need to be bigger. On stage, that is.
He just keeps saying, "I need to be bigger," and then later clarifying what he means. I need to be bigger, have more money.
I need my money to be bigger. So then he finds the book. I think we need... So he's kind of the villain in this movie, but I think we need an external villain who kind of... Like, the movie...
A major evil as composed to the lesser.
Yeah, I
evil.
think maybe the
Yes.
rest. So he's gonna try to resurrect his wife, but I think maybe is this also a revenge story on chainsaws? Wait,
Or the
roller
roller
coasters?
coaster.
oh,
yeah.
the roller coaster. Okay,
I think he fixates on the roller coaster.
okay.
Yes, even though it's clearly like he is fixated on the wrong
Yes.
thing because he's so emotionally distraught.
He is just-
But that becomes like his cause.
So at this point, we have castaway Tom Hanks just running around, shrieking with his big beard, just very upset, very drunk. How does he get to the library? Does he just say like, is there a sign in the shop that says "Learn to do magic bigger"?
Yeah, that sounds great.
So he finds, but then he grabs the wrong bigger magic book, right, Frank? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because there's two books. You see, there's one called Bigger Magic. It's spelled with Magic,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's one called Bigger Magica with the CK.
Bigger magics,
Bigger Magic,
Plural.
CK.
CKS. No, well, S.
I've heard it both ways.
Did you say X? Okay. One of them has like a pentagram, and the other one just has like a star,
like a top hat?
a
Yeah,
top hat,
Mhm.
and he's drunk. He grabs the wrong one,
because
Yes.
the top hat reminds him of his dead wife.
so he chooses not to read that one. He's like, "Oh no, I've had my fill of top hats. Thank you very much." Okay, so what is the first magic thing he does with this book? Does he curse the roller coaster? Does he just get? I mean, he probably just does stuff on stage. Where does he go from here? Hannah, what's his first trick? I guess
I think his first,
illusion, even.
yeah. I think his first illusion is some sort of. I mean, I think is for his act.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe he's just performing at like a birthday
Oh.
party.
Is
and
it like
he does...
is it like he does a stage act but with real magic this time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I think so.
I think maybe the only gig he can get is some like birthday party. Did they have birthday parties in the 1800s for children? Did children get to celebrate birthdays?
Yeah, they were only alive for like a few years.
Oh,
Yeah,
so they
they
had
got
to
no
they had to
count.
get all the ones they could. Okay, yeah.
So he shows up to this kid's birthday party and he goes, "Well, you're not very big."
And then he makes him big, or that's just a comment he
It's
makes.
just it's
and
an
then he-
intro. You're not very big.
Oh, you're not very big. And then he does his act, which is what does he do? Does he make something levitate? Does he teleport? Does he make a balloon animal come to life? Are balloons a thing at this point in history? I'm learning a lot in this podcast
I
today.
feel like right, like the idea of like fun inflatable animals.
You think we had
Oh,
feelings?
like balloon animals are already a thing, you think?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm gonna look.
balloon animal history?
Mm.
Party balloon animals came into play in 1939.
Okay,
Oh, so not yet.
A little early.
Does he invent them?
He's ahead of his time. Maybe he does, but with magic, and because he's the only one who can do it magically, the rest of the world doesn't figure out helium or bendable balloons until like 50 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he makes a balloon, I don't know.
Like it turns into an animal. I feel like it like moves. It basically like becomes an animal.
Oh, so
He animates
yes.
a balloon.
Okay. And he does it. What if his magic is like the reason? So we need to come up with a reason why he gets cursed into where he gets put inside of a robot box. And this is jumping ahead a little
Is
bit.
there a wizard's council?
Is there? So okay. So there's there's now a third option that you've introduced. Is there a wizard's council? Does he just get caught by the law? Well, I guess that would be the wizard's council. Okay. So then my other idea was: is his magic like? Is he acting against? So when he makes a balloon animal, is he like imprisoning a spirit in the balloon animal, and so then the spirits get revenge on him for making them into balloon animals all the time? The Wizards Council opens up a whole lot of options, Frank. That's very. Hannah, how do you feel about a Wizards Council being introduced to 1880s New Jersey?
I mean, I feel like we could do a wizards. Yeah, let's what the hell? Let's make a wizards council.
Is
An
this-
age-old wizards council.
Is this a Harry Potter spin-off now?
Mm.
Is Dumbledore there? Dumbledore's not that old. How old's Dumbledore? Do we know?
I don't think we know.
Hundreds and thousands of
Yeah.
years. I
Like
feel like he says
immortal?
it at one point.
Does
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore show up in New Jersey?
Dumbledore age 150 years.
And at
So
what point?
when is he born?
Yeah, when was his year of his birth, Francis?
Wikipedia has an entire article, normal Wikipedia, not the Harry Potter Wikipedia.
Well, yeah, of course.
Has an
he's a
Albus
real guy.
Dumbledore article as if he's a real person. Does not have his birthday.
Here. Wow, Wikipedia, get on it. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
Dumbledore birthday. Here we go. Oh, not helpful. 1881. Oh, he's a child wizard at this
Oh.
point.
Oh my goodness.
He's apprentice wizard Albus.
Apprentice wizard Albus just okay. Well, now he just.
I
makes
just want to be clear. Are we joking, or is this now also a Harry Potter movie?
I think it kind of has to be now that we've gone this far.
I love it. It's a crossover.
It's a crossover Harry Potter movie. JK doesn't care if anybody messes with her stuff. Like, she'll let us do this. Okay, so the Wizards Council, so he's gonna perform, does he perform like increasingly dark and
Elaborate.
dangerous magics? Is that why the Wizard Council comes for him?
I think he's also like we can't forget that he's still trying to resurrect his wife.
Yes, right.
Or yeah, his old wife.
So-
And I feel like maybe then he summons
Some
her in some way that like her spirit is not meant to.
yeah, some
crossover.
unholy rites. Okay. So does he invent the first zombie? Are we just gonna get in all the fads?
Every time he performs a dark magic feat,
It creates some sort of
he
different pop
drinks-
culture item.
He drinks some of the life essence.
Oh.
It gets spooky.
It gets spooky. Okay. So his audience, so do they leave unhappy or do they leave like
They're like, man, that was nuts. I feel like I just drank. If energy drinks existed, I feel like I just came down off one.
Mhm.
I just feel like I just
That was
crashed
a
off
really
Red
big
Bull.
show.
That was a really big show. I'm tired now though. Isn't that
I'm
weird?
so tired. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sleep for like 3 days. Is that cool?
I'm gonna
My
sleep.
bones feel weak. That's how good it was.
Okay. So he summons his wife. So who is let's cast and create the character who is the Wizard Council operative sent to investigate him. What is his or her name, and what actor do we get for them? Frank, give me. Are they a man or a woman?
I want to go woman with this one because I think there's an interesting moment where like he like does the resurrection and then the magic cop shows up and he just thinks that his wife came back wrong.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So who?
And then the magic
And
cop-
perhaps he has an uncomfortable sexual encounter with the wizard council woman that then leads him to create awkward sexual encounters
Yes, we
for
get
his future victim.
and we need that data point on Tom Hanks's timeline of uncomfortable sexual encounters.
This is how it
Yeah.
happened.
Okay, so
It was a really big moment.
so she shows up and he thinks it's his dead wife, just different, and so he somehow forms a relationship with her. I can't imagine that she shows up in his house and they just bone down right there.
No.
That would be odd, even for the 1800s, you guys. Come on, magicians weren't that big. Okay, so how does this
She
relationship
takes the
form?
form of his dead wife
Oh, just to mess with him?
to entrap him.
Entrap him, because maybe she knows he's unstable.
Yeah, she's trying to with the Scrooge and Jacob Marley and help me.
She's trying to teach him a lesson.
She's trying to like Stop.
Interesting.
The Christmas movie?
Stop
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm dying.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
please say the name of this film.
A Christmas
please.
Carol?
It's
Thank
a Wonderful
you.
Life. Guys, I'm Jewish and I didn't watch any of these movies as a kid.
Oh, that's fine. Although Muppet Christmas
I didn't
Carol is
either.
really good.
I'm sure it is. I've heard.
Okay, so what did this? This is completely unrelated. What are some? Did you watch like Hanukkah movies?
No, there are
Dude,
none.
That's what I
Or
was
none
gonna
that
ask.
I mean, I feel like
The Rugrats has Judah and the Maccababies, and I have seen that special more times than I've seen a Christmas Carol.
Okay. There was
Yeah.
also Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. Was that not like a staple?
I don't know that I've ever seen that movie.
You're not missing much.
I listened to his Hanukkah song a lot.
It's a good song. Yeah. He
Yeah.
basically he was like, what if that was a irreverent cartoon?
Sounds fabulous.
Yeah, and now he's got a lot of Netflix movies. So so she's pretending to be his dead wife. So is this like a Departed situation where she's like undercover, but then like does this happen in The Departed? I don't know that I've seen The Departed. Doesn't he like become friends with the bad guys in The Departed?
Yes, it's like a
He goes undercover.
mole situation.
mole's mole.
There's like
Okay.
deep undercover.
So I think, do we go that route where she's like, that's why she falls in love with him despite her better judgment, and then that's why they have uncomfortable boning, because she's like, I'm not actually your wife, but okay. And he's like,
My wife.
I've never had sex with a ghost before. And she's like, well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It seems pretty convenient. I didn't think ghosts could do this.
Right. Okay. And then does she tell him the truth, and that just sets him off onto his final rampage? What does he do to merit being imprisoned as a weird robot man? We need to find out his greatest sin.
What if he starts confiding in the magic cop, right? It says like, I've got a big thing coming. I'm going to like resurrect a bunch of dead people so that we can all live like a happy town.
What if he really did resurrect his wife, and she just is taking a really long time to get to him, and then she's gonna show up, and then the cops' lies will be revealed. The Wizard Council operative, like his wife shows up, but she's like nasty,
and she's all like, "I blame you for my death. You didn't need a big hat.
You didn't need a hat that big.
Who needs hats that big? You killed me.
That hat was too big." Okay,
and she shows up with, is this too dark? With a dead child that he didn't know he was about to have.
Oh,
yes, this is your ghost son.
Yeah,
exactly. I gave birth to him when I was a ghost.
You're allowed to do that. It turns out.
Yeah.
It turns out you can just do that, and his name is Cranial.
His name is Cranial.
Leland. Frederick. That's a
Cranial Leland Frederick.
Yeah,
sounds great.
That's good. 3 names. Also, we got to cast this. We got to cast this Wizard Council operative.
Imagine.
I do want to get Dylan and/or Cole Sprouse for the ghost son. I don't care if it's not a baby.
Ghost twins.
Ghost twins. He had ghost twins, and they're both named Zachariah and
Codificus.
Sure. That's the long form of Cody, right? Codificus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can quote me on that.
Okay. So then, Hannah, who would you like to see as the Wizard Council operative? This is a big one.
What about Viola Davis?
Oh, yes.
I feel like, right, she'd be a pretty good wizard.
She's like she'd be a
Councilwoman.
great wizard. She'd be good at like tough as nails cop. I love this. Okay.
I just love I'll put her in anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I feel about Zach and Cody. I mean, Dylan and Cole. Someday they're going to listen to this podcast and they're going to be upset that I keep calling them Zach and Cody. Okay,
sunk that ship.
So then they have a wizard's fight, I imagine. Does he fight with balloon animals? Does he just summon bigger and bigger balloon animals to attack Viola Davis?
Is that really all he's picked up in these years is the balloon animal?
Has it been years? Plural?
I feel like it's been at least months, because I don't think Viola Davis moves that fast. I think she's got to be sure about the man she's getting in bed with, even though she is lying to him the whole time. Now, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Yeah, we already established. Never mind. I was going to say Viola Davis doesn't look a lot like Keira Knightley, but we already established she just came back different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Viola Davis, in fact, is probably not in the movie a whole lot.
Oh, right, because she's got a glamour on.
Jeez.
I forgot about the illusion.
Yeah, I did too.
This has layers. Okay. So maybe she... What if we never saw Viola Davis and this is just an incredibly poorly, like... What if we intentionally write it bad, where his zombie ghost wife shows up, and then Viola Davis is suddenly Viola Davis, and she's like, "Oh, surprise, I'm a cop." And the audience is like, "What the fuck?"
Just like the Shield.
Yeah, just like the Shield. That's CCH Pounder, buddy.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry. That is CCH Pounder. Can we get her?
I think we can get her as the Wizards police chief for sure.
Oh, that'd be so good.
That'd be really good. Okay.
God damn it, Dutch.
Yeah. Okay, so then they're gonna have a wizards fight. I'm asking you guys.
Viola Davis is slinging heat, right? She's like actually doing spells.
This is what I was gonna ask. I need to know what her magical fighting style is. This is important. This is incredibly important for the movie. This is Harry Potter world, so we could be using Harry Potter spells if we want.
Oh, yeah.
because
We
Child
forgot
Dumbledore
about
is there.
Harry Potter here. Yeah.
Completely, yeah. They all have wands, probably.
Maybe the only connection to Harry, so they
Two-
all have wands and stuff, but maybe the only like connection is that there's a child at the carnival and he almost gets hit by something and somebody just goes, Albus, look out, and then that's it.
Oh,
So you have to like dig. You have to like notice the connection.
You
and
gotta
then
notice
feel-
the connection.
Yeah.
Just,
deep lore.
uh,
And like one time, one of them goes to a bank and it says like forever.
Gringotts.
well, they're in
Is it
America though,
Gringotts?
Frank. It is
It's-
Gringotts,
it is,
but that's
it
in
is.
London and we're in America here, aren't we? Aren't we in New Jersey?
Who's in America? You're the Harry Potter person.
I mean, according to the new movie that's coming out, Dumbledore is going to be in America as Jude Law. So,
Well, like for like big wizard.
oh,
banks.
Big Wizard Banks. It's probably just called like Flim Flams or something stupid.
Flames banks.
She seems to care less about good fun magic names for
Can
the
Viola
Americans.
Davis have like a 6-shooter, but it's 6 wands?
Oh god.
Yes.
Does it? So wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But
It's real long.
it's real long, and there's 6. Okay. Sure. And she puts. Maybe she just has 2 wands, but they're each in a holster, and she holds them like guns. No, a 6-shooter's good, but it also has a holster. Okay. So I do need to know though. Still, what kind of magic style is she using? Is she like? You said she's slinging heat. Is she like shooting fireballs? Is she shooting?
We're talking your fireballs, your fire bolts, your magic missiles.
Okay, so you're just pulling straight from the D&D now.
I am. That's all I know.
Okay. Hannah, how does Zoltar fight? I know you probably have a lot of magical combat knowledge. I need you to to show us some of that here. I need that showcase.
Yeah, I mean, I think his main vehicle for like his main magical, expertise is in
Mhm.
summoning
Oh,
spirits.
yes. Okay. So he summons spirits to do his fighting for
Yes,
him.
I think so. Yeah.
What kind of spirits? Anyone we know?
Maybe famous old dead magicians.
Famous dead magician. Maybe Houdini shows up
Yeah.
and he's like vomiting everywhere. And like maybe there's like a
Like
caveman
Houdini
magician.
shows up, but he's just like wrestling people.
He summons magicians from throughout time, and there's like a caveman magician, and we're all like, oh, we didn't even know that they had magicians.
Yeah. You learned something.
He's got like a woolly mammoth top hat or something. Okay, so then how do they decide to put him inside a robot? Like, why is that what defeats him?
I feel like this is not a direct answer to your question, but I feel like this big battle happens at a carnival.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can they be standing on a roller coaster while they're fighting at one point?
They have to be.
They have to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
maybe they jump from the Ferris wheel onto a roller coaster, and then there's a guy juggling chainsaws nearby, and one of the chainsaws breaks the roller coaster. I don't know. It
It kind of end caps the tragedy in the beginning. It says it breaks the roller coaster, and then he falls to the ground, and he
What?
goes, ouch, and it's kind of his downfall.
He says that was a big fall.
That was a big fall.
Yeah.
What if they don't put him in the robot? What if they think they killed him and then slow pan to robot?
Yeah.
Oh, because he learned how to manipulate souls. We didn't even know that we were building to this the whole time.
Zoltar's biggest trick was this one right now that we just wrote together.
Yeah, it's a real Usual Suspects twist.
Dude, it even got us.
It got us. Yeah. Okay. So Viola Davis thinks she killed him. Keira Knightley gets to return to her rest, or does she does she stay
with her
around?
ghost twins.
Because
No,
here's the thing: in Harry Potter, ghosts stick around. They got ghosts in the castle who just like hang out.
Oh, that's true.
Does she
They
just say
become
like
carny ghosts?
maybe? Yeah, maybe they got carny ghosts now, and her 2 sons, Zachariah and Codificus, are like,
Codificus,
I want to
yeah.
learn how to juggle, and she says, but no chainsaws, and then they all kind
They
of
all
chuckle
laugh.
about it.
Then
Yeah.
there's like a freeze frame, and that's
There's
the
a
end of the
freeze
movie.
That's- I love it. That's perfect.
And then they get like a sepia tone. 30 years later is not enough.
I think
80?
the whole credit sequence is like newspaper clippings showing like the Zoltar robot in the background of different like
Oh,
Different carnival openings.
different carnival
and, like,
openings.
traveling shows.
but
Or,
also
like-
like different tragedies or different
Yes.
like horrible or weird things that have happened throughout the years that Zoltar
Yeah.
is always there.
And we keep seeing pictures of adult Tom Hanks.
Where?
Yes.
Oh right, I forgot about that part.
Me too. Well, I think that's because like Zoltar has historically summoned the spirits of like past dead people, and so his
He just keeps summoning his
Himself.
own self. Yeah.
He really only learned the one trick.
One of the headlines is like, "Man becomes too big," and then another headline is like, "Man becomes not big enough."
Big, big man falls big.
Perfect. And then we'll have an end credit scene showing like the robot, and then you'll just that nice blurry background shot where you'll hear like young Josh want to get on a roller coaster, and then we see like Zoltar light up or something.
Yes.
We just hear like a young kid just say like, "I'm gonna get a little bit taller to impress Cynthia."
Yeah. Oh boy,
do
if
you have
only
a
I was
quarter?
bigger.
Yeah.
I need to put a
this
quarter.
is like, I think we've written in a really classic horror genre twist.
Yes, where you think he's dead and he's not.
Yes, exactly. I feel like you can't have a true horror movie without this like cheesy
Mhm.
last minute
Right.
twist.
So then that sets us up. The big will happen, and then we can do Zoltar 2, which is post big, and that'll be a different episode.
Mhm.
Isn't Zoltar actually? Here's the thing that's been bugging me. Wasn't Zoltar's thing like fortune telling? Why is Tom Hanks making a wish on him?
Yeah, right? Because I believe, and I might be wrong, I believe you put in a quarter and you just get like a little slip of paper with like a fortune cookie fortune.
Yeah, but Tom Hanks is making a wish on him for some reason.
Yeah.
But he
no,
does-
No one
He does get a little paper thing that says your wish is granted.
Oh,
I
that's
forgot
kind of
that
a
part.
fortune, I guess, if you think about it.
That's like if you open a fortune cookie and it says like "Eat at Panda Express." It's like, come on, because that happened to me. It's just like, come on, like you're not even trying.
Okay, so this is an amazing movie. I'm incredibly excited to watch it. Hannah, are you familiar with our food pairing segment?
Yeah, I am.
Are you prepared to pair a food and Mountain Dew with this movie that we have just created together?
A food and a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, we need a flavor of Mountain Dew for sure. Everybody
An
drinks
original
Mountain Dew.
flavor.
No, well, okay, if you want,
Oh.
that would be a Reboot Leggers first, or you could just use an existing Mountain Dew flavor that you think would work best. But if you do come up with a new flavor of Mountain Dew, you do need to give it an appropriately extreme name.
Right. I have to think about food. This movie's taken a turn.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you want people eating in the theater and throwing up in the air as they get startled?
like a carnival food.
Yeah, okay. Maybe like a funnel cake.
Yeah. Lots of powdered sugar creates like
Yes.
a really like dusty.
Yeah. It's one dusty theater. Oh, those theater employees are
So
gonna
this
be
is like
pissed.
the Walt Disney World 4D theater experience where you gotta,
Oh yeah, they've got like people like burping into your face for
and they like spray stink in the air.
because it's the 1800s and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Who knew that the fourth D was smell? By the way, like
Yeah,
I had
right.
no idea. I thought it was time, but it turns out it's smell. Okay, and then what is our Mountain Dew?
Isn't there like a black Mountain Dew?
There is a black one. It's my favorite.
Pitch
It's
Black.
called Pitch Black, and it is grape flavored.
Yeah, I vote Pitch Black. I feel like
Heck
that's
yes.
because we haven't even talked about it. Is our movie in color? It's probably in color, but it maybe has like a black and or maybe it's in black and white. I don't know.
I like maybe we do what they did with Logan, and we release two versions, one in black
One's
and
like
white.
sepia.
One is silent. one is like a silent
then
film where
On
everything.
the Blu-ray, it's backwards.
I think one version is like a for real silent film where it's like slightly too fast, and then they like intercut the
cards.
the cards between. Yeah. That'll be like the ultimate director's cut, and we'll say this was our original vision, and
Yes.
film snobs will love that version.
Love it.
Okay, this is great. I loved this movie. That's gonna do it for us. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Hannah, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was incredible. I'm glad you brought your magic knowledge to share with the rest of us, and your big knowledge.
And my female perspective.
Yes, that was truly a boon to us. Hannah, where can our listeners find your work? Where would you like to direct them? This is your opportunity to plug yourself.
Oh my God. Well, you know, I perform and I teach at the Magnet Theater. That's where in New York City. That's where they can find me. And I
Awesome.
direct a show where we like make up a play in a specific genre every other
man.
week. So
That sounds great. I gotta get to New York.
it's real fun. It's called The Cast.
That sounds so good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you like the show, please give us a good rating and review on iTunes and tell your friends about it. Tell them we've got the female perspective now. I think that'll get us. If that's what's been holding them back, we have that now. Until next time, I'm Scott Owen.
I'm Frank Sarah.
And Hannah, as you know, we normally have our guests provide us with a password so that our listeners can get in next week. Could you please give us our password?
I think it's big. Is that too on the nose?